Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 7th of February. It is Friday. And today's message is going to be where's the breakdown? Where's my deep V pattern setting up here for early next week? You remember I talked about how we were moving into a potential crush, kind of a downward move here around the 10th, 11th, 12th, maybe carrying all the way into the 13th, 14th, but it hasn't shown up. It literally just has not shown up yet. We do have a correlative breakdown in gold and silver today and a breakdown pattern. So, maybe this move downward in gold and silver is going to be, predictive, so to say, or correlative to the downward move that I'm expecting in the SPY. Now, if we get the breakdown, and I started thinking about the old "Where's the Beef" commercial. I don't know, guys, if you're old enough to remember that. Uh, this was in the '80s, and I don't know if you guys can remember, but I remember it completely. Where's the beef? So I'm getting to the point here where where's the breakdown? Okay. Where's that breakdown? Where's that big crush that I expected leading to her deep V pattern? Now, obviously, over the weekend, we could end up having some news. I mean, there's all kinds of news going on right now, and we could end up with a fairly solid breakdown. I'm still thinking that 583, 584 area, right down in this area, could be, could be some critical support, but I'm also thinking we could end up in a deeper kind of a downward rotation. So, pay attention to the fact here that, we could easily be moving down into the 570, 575 area if we get a big breakdown. Now, I did post something over here the other day about right here. This was an SPY ADL predictive modeling system on a 60-minute basis, showing that we have that potential for that 590, 580 area. And this was done at kind of hard to see, but roughly yesterday mid morning. So I think we're looking at about mid morning here. And again, we're looking at, the potential that we could be down. We could get a pretty solid breakdown into this 588, 586 area, 590 area. And remember, that would put us down in this type of an area fairly quickly. So we need to be aware of, the fact that the breakdown is pending. We have this pattern setting up here. I'll come over here and show you the actual breakdown. Here it is. And we're looking at this breakdown right here. So basically, the 9th is a V bottom. That's on a weekend. The 10th is Monday. We have a peak and a bottom, indicating very broad volatility on Monday. And then we have another major bottom on the 21st. And then we move into strength on the 14th, which is Friday. So, I'm looking for this V bottom and this major bottom setting up to, again, not a major top, but a major bottom. So this would indicate around the 10th, we would be looking at, some potential move, maybe like this, a peak and a bottom setting up at the same time, kind of a big rotating trend, big volatile rotating type of trend. So we're going to see how it plays out. Right now, the markets are moving slightly downward. They were up earlier. We're right up in this upper area, which I showed you guys last week. And we are still moving through this excess phase peak pattern. You can see the red excess phase peak pattern trying to break out of it. I think we're looking at a breakdown. I think my patterns are accurate. And like I said, it's just going to be a matter of time at this point. I mean, what am I going to tell you? I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So we'll see how it plays out. My positions are capable of carrying all the way through the 14th or the 21st. for this big breakdown. And if it happens today or Monday, Tuesday, I'll be very, very happy. If it doesn't happen till Thursday, Friday, well, okay, I won't be too happy, but at least it showed up. So we'll see if we get this breakdown. But really, guys, target this area, this 86, 586, 587, 585 area. I think that's kind of the low where we're going to try to find support if we get a breakdown today or Monday. And then after that, we could see a deep low on maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I don't see a lot of upside here, and I'm waiting for something to maybe cause a breakdown. So QQQ, same type of setup. Pretty sure I've indicated that here. Kind of think that this area right in here, this 518, 520, would be the initial breakdown move, carrying deeper into the Monday low potentially. So we'll see how it plays out. Could be a very deep low. I mean, I don't know how deep it's going to go. You see that I highlighted this area here, saying that, hey, we could end up back down in this 490, which remember is not too far below the 499 low that we have over here. But right now, just looking for a breakdown, possibly in the 3.5% to 4% range. You can see that would put us right into this area, basically 507, 510, somewhere in that area. Call it 505 to 510. Somewhere in that area, I think we're looking at a pretty solid move to the downside. And again, you can see we've got another excess phase peak pattern setting up here. I've drawn it. I'll draw it again. I'll leave that there. So here we come up into this low, into this excess phase peak. Ideally, folks, we would stay below. Put a little dot over there. I didn't mean to, but ideally, folks, we would stay below this previous low or previous high over here, which we are doing. Okay. So you can see we're getting this stepping downward, this roll, roll, roll. I think we're going to be breaking downward. Okay, we'll go to gold and silver. I already highlighted the fact that we are looking at a breakdown today. So the breakdown pattern today in carryover mode should represent a fairly solid downward move leading into the holiday or the weekend. So I'm kind of looking for this roll over to take place, maybe down to 28.50, maybe a bit lower. And again, gold, if the metals do break down, gold and silver will likely break down as well. And that's because when you get into a breakdown mode in the markets, you typically find metals will react similarly to the downside by simply reacting as a panic type of hedge. In other words, metals collapse when the markets collapse, and suddenly, and that's because people just basically sell out of everything, including gold and silver. There's an initial weakness into the trend. So currently, given my expectations, I would say that any upward opportunity in gold is null. I don't think we're going to see any big moves in gold until maybe Tuesday, Wednesday of next week to the upside. And lastly, we're going to come over here to Bitcoin, which is up $1,000, 97,645 or 654. Really flagging out over here. I mean, I've drawn all of these kind of rotations. So you can see here, we've got a very solid flagging formation coming right across here and here. And let me just put it right here. Again, visually trying to make this apparent to you. So you can see a breakdown A coming up to here, B coming down to here, C coming up likely to here, D, which would be 98,500, and then rolling over. So hypothetically, folks, this is a pretty good indication, moving down, up, and then rolling. And that moves right into our breakdown mode for the market So we'll see how this holds up, but things are looking like a pretty solid breakdown right now. So, what I would urge you to do is if you are holding any long positions right now, to try to rethink your risk to the downside over the weekend, pull out some profits, maybe position a couple of, a couple of straddles or hedges to the downside over the weekend. Worst case scenario, my breakdown won't happen, and we're going to end up right where we're at. So you're not going to lose too much on the hedging protection to the downside. Best case scenario is that it's going to break down today and tomorrow. Sorry, today and over the weekend and into early next week. And we're going to be looking at a fairly strong move to the downside. Like I told you guys earlier, this market is poised for kind of a pullback mode. And ultimately, we could end up in some very deep type of a contraction. We could be looking at 74, 75, 76,000 here, 80,000 on Bitcoin. We could be looking at, come back over here, we could be looking at a deeper low here setting up on the SPY somewhere down in this 570 to 575 area if we get a big breakdown. It doesn't look like it's going to happen right now because we're up in this upper area, but my patterns and my cycles suggest it's going to happen. And, I can point to this and just tell you that this was predicted over 40 days ago. Same with this, same with all of this going out into March here. So, and this topping pattern set up beautifully about 3 days late. So maybe this will be about 3 days late into the 12th or 13th. We'll see. But again, the predictive modeling is suggesting a similar type of breakdown as possible. So we're just going to have to kind of grin and bear it right now. That's all I can tell you. It's Friday. We'll see how things play out. Markets are moving down a little bit right now. We've still got about an hour to go before the markets. So let's see how this plays out, guys. Okay, go get some today. Talk to you later.